What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Udon Invitational League. This is your coach of the North Carolina Northerns, and this is the first video of a series that I'm going to start today, and it's going to be called the Weekly Wrap Up. So basically what we're going to do here is maybe highlight a certain match of the week, or highlight multiple matches that shared similar qualities, etc., etc. It could be whatever we want. Okay, this is a experiment. It's a process. Right now, it could be about literally anything. So this week, the title of this episode is going to be Misplays or Outplays. Because this week had a lot of, I don't know what the correct word is, but a lot of just like low IQ maneuvers by a lot of the coaches. So we're just going to highlight that this week today. So sit back. If you didn't watch any of the matches, all the weekly wrap-up videos will have either some highlight or at least tell you the end result of all the matches, and then we'll do the standings at the end of the video, and then we'll do the power rankings after the standings at the end of the video. Now, short disclaimer, it doesn't really matter what power rankings are. That is just a for fun thing. The real important thing is where you are at in the standings. If you don't agree with your power rank, I mean, oh well, you can prove anybody wrong by just winning. The power ranks are just how the coaches are performing week by week, and who do a lot of people think are hard or they wouldn't want to go against, and who they would like to go against, especially leading up into playoffs. So that's way down the road. So power rankings are fun. Standings are what's going to be serious. So first of all, we have this first clip that we're going to be doing is between the Portland Pidgeots and the Louisville Slugma. Let's get into it.
I do my best.
It's it was a pick I was going after myself, and then once you picked it, it was like, oh man, yikes. Well, that happened.
As you can see, starting off the bat, I think that was their first. That's when they first sent their Mons out. It was just a complete one-shot. Really, this is why I would encourage damage calcing, guys, because I know one of the coaches was expressing that he doesn't really like damage calcing that much. He just wants to go out there and YOLO it. But YOLOing it in battle is a really hard thing to do because there are so many different variables. For the Portland Pidgeots, Azelf was the main damage dealer on their team, and they lost it in the opening move, I believe. So that was just pretty rough for them. The Louisville Slugma will go on to win 2-0, I think, and secure a 1-0 start for the season. Next up, we're going to have a clip from yours truly. During the opening moves of my week 1 match, I had a decision to make. And looking back on it, it was actually a very easy decision. I was just overcomplicating it. I was really scared. I guess I shouldn't try to explain myself, but I'm going to anyways. I was really scared of Alakazam getting so many Calm Minds off on a useless Dawn fan that had used Superpower twice in a row. So I was like, oh no, I can't do this. But no matter how many Calm Minds Alakazam got, I could have just sent in Kartana no matter what. Because I'm guaranteed to outspeed. I'm guaranteed to one-shot with knockoff. So there's no point for me to switch in. You'll see what happens. There's no point of letting this Mon go down, especially. So you guys will see. Be right back. What did that do? He used Shadow Ball and it. I'm gonna recover here. Oof. Should have gone to that Dawn fan. Alright, the NC Neuburn would go on to win that match 4-0, but it started off pretty rough. Next up, we're gonna have a clip from, I believe it's the Cape Fear Castforms versus the Florida for Alligator. Now, this match was probably the second most hyped match of the week in terms of how close it was. The Cape Fear Castform set up a Slurpuff sweep with belly drum. It did not go off, or no, it went. He belly drummed, but the unburden did not activate, so it was really slow. And then he got hit, but he didn't die, so the unburden did activate. And then Slurpuff was just wrecking house, and then you have the result of this.
It missed! Oh, I knew it! I knew it would miss.
And that was just the beginning of the craziness of that match, because right after that, that Gyarados does not Mega Evolve for some weird reason, and it not Mega Evolving is what gave the Kefir Castform a 1-0 victory over the Florida Fraligator. Last but not least, we do have there was one more match, but it was not actually recorded, so I'm not gonna be able to put it into the highlights because the other battles or the way replays work is just too annoying to put it into a video format. So the last replay we're gonna have is between in my opinion, the most, how do I want to put this? It was the closest match going into it. It was like it could go either way, I guess. Really, two good drafts going head to head, and it was between the OKC Thunderous and the Sacramento Sableye, and it was just crazy. I can't even put it into words. So check this out.
Has on this Chinchino. Obviously both. Okay, so whoa, the Psycho Cut doing big damage. I don't know if I went for the knockoff there. I was sort of expecting a fake out from the Chinchino, to be honest.
So, the OKC Thunders should have won that match if they played it properly. But what had happened is instead of clicking knockoff, Tail Slap automatically killed. I don't know if the calcs are correct. I might have them on screen here. Tail Slap did, I think, a minimum of like 110% to the Medicham. And that was my first concern for that match. And then I was like, wait a minute. Medicham's speed is base 100 and Chinchino's base 115. So I go and talk to the coach and he sends me a video of his team. He didn't put any EVs in his Chinchino at all. So it got outsped and didn't have any damage. Even if he got outsped, no. The fact that he got outsped was a problem because even if he had gone for a knockoff, he would have gone for a knockoff, not killed it, eaten the Psycho Cut, and then gone for another knockoff, and would have gotten the kill. But he didn't have any EVs at all, so Medicham outsped, and he clicked the wrong move. And then he ends up losing the game. So, we have a new number one team in the league. You'll see that in the power rankings after this video and in the standings. Big yikes to the OKC Thunders. Hopefully they bounce back. Maybe not, though, because they have a hard matchup next week. So, anyways, that's it for the replays, guys, and I'm going to be moving on into the rankings and the standings. Alright, guys, moving on to the standings real quick. So, as to be expected of week 1, nothing too crazy. We have a 6-way tie for first place and a 6-way tie for last place. Obviously, that's going to change over the course of the season because there will be 11 total games, so 11 total weeks. As a speculation right now, I think 7 wins should get you in the playoffs. Don't quote me on that. I haven't actually done the math. I'm just guessing. I don't think 6 wins guarantees you playoffs. I think 7 wins. 7 might not guarantee you playoffs, but you should shoot for 7 wins if you're trying to look at playoffs. So I'll just run through quickly the NC Neuburn, Cape Fear Cast from Sacramento Sableye, and Louisville Slugma. I don't know why I said and. Lynchburg Lycanrocs and the Raleigh Rotom. There we go. Are all tied for first place with 1-0. They each, I don't want to say they each had convincing victories, but pretty good stuff from everybody week 1. And then to everybody who lost, don't be discouraged too much. 0-1 is at the end of the world. Really, 0-3 I think wouldn't be the end of the world, but you're kind of pushing it there. You just need to try to at least get 1 or 2 wins. 2 in the next 5 weeks, because after week 5 is when the trade deadline, or is when you're gonna be able to trade. It's not week 4. I know some people think it's week 4. It's gonna be week 5 since there's more season, or since there's more games this season. I know last season I did week 4. It'll be week 5 this time. So try not to go 0-5. If you go 0-5, you have your work cut out for you to try to make it in the playoffs because you're gonna have to win 7 in a row. I know some schedules are gonna be easier than others. It's looking like I can actually tell you who some of the people are that have rough schedules. Maybe I'll do a video about schedules in the next weekly wrap up. Should it be weekly wrap up or weekly roundup? Huh. Weekly round wrap up. Weekly square up. Weekly square up. There we go. But anyways, guys, so this is the standings after week 1. Pretty solid stuff. Good luck to everybody in week 2. And now we're going to be moving on to the power rankings, my favorite part. Alright, guys, last segment of this video, the power rankings after week 1. So, a lot of craziness. There's actually a lot of big numbers. I think there's going to be a lot of big jumping around in these power rankings until maybe about week 3 or 4 when we finally like settle in to see who like are more consistent than others. But so as of right now, oh, by the way, I meant to say this earlier. I only posted 4 replays or because I know there were 5 matches that actually sent in replays and one that was not recorded. The 5th match didn't really have any like misplay or outplay in there. It was just a really close match between the Boston B-Barrel and the Lynchburg Lycanroc. So I encourage you guys to just go watch that match because it was actually really, really close and it didn't have any like brain farting moments in that match. That's why it was not highlighted. So sorry if you guys felt left out, but it just didn't fit with the theme of this week. So, but I did not forget about you. So sorry if you feel forgotten. But anyways, back to power rankings. So we have our new number 1. The Lynchburg Lycanrocs have dethroned. They didn't actually do the dethroning. They did not actually do the dethroning. But they have taken the number 1 spot. They jumped up 1. They had a really good draft. The OKC Thunderous, I still stand by, has one of the scariest drafts, if not the scariest draft in the tournament. They're really fast, hit really hard, and they have a lot of bulk. Not a lot of bulk, but a lot of them have bulk. A lot of his mons have bulk. If he would have just put EVs into his Chinchino, he'd probably still be first, if not maybe second. So that's why we only dropped him 3 spots in the power rankings. The Lynchburg Lycanrocs pulled off a very nice victory over the Boston B-Barrel. That matchup came down to sticky webs. This might like put his team on the radar, but the Boston B-Barrels has a really good draft, but he has one glaring weakness, and it's that all his mons aren't that fast, and he only has one way of clearing entry hazards. So entry hazards aren't going to be that much of a problem for him because he does have fast mons and he does have like bulk, but the fact that he could not get rid of the sticky web as an entry hazard really lost him that game there, and that was really clutch by the Lynchburg Lycanrocs on how he got his sticky webs onto the field when he did, because it was looking pretty rough for him that whole match until he turned it around near the end there. So Lynchburg Lycanrocs are in the number 1 spot. NC Neuvern had a pretty convincing win over the Fayetteville Talonflame, so they move up 2 spots. And the Sacramento Sableye are the ones that dethroned physically the OKC Thunderous as the number 1 team. So it didn't feel right putting the B-Barrels or the OKC Thunderous over the Neuvern or the Sableye, so that's why both of them have dropped, or OKC dropped 3 spots, but the Neuvern and Sableye have moved up 2 spots. Now the Raleigh Rotom, that is the one match that I'm not going to upload to YouTube because they actually are very frustrating. Neither the Raleigh Rotom nor the Charlotte Beedrill recorded their match. There might be a penalty in the near time future for that, but the Raleigh Rotom ended up winning 6-0 against the Charlotte Beedrill. So despite not recording the match, we are moving him up from 12th place all the way to 6th place, because that was a crazy match. It was kind of crazy, kind of not, but doesn't matter because it wasn't recorded. So moving up 6. Moving on to the only team to have won a game but to drop in power rankings. The Cape Fear Cast Form had a very, very, very shaky win over the Florida for Alligator. he didn't really necessarily lose that much ground. It's just how the battle went was pretty suspect, so I couldn't necessarily keep him in the top 6. Uh, Looking in the week 5, he might need something kind of bulkier because his team is a lot of glass cannons, like a lot of glass cannons. So, like, I think I called that last week too. Did I call that last week? Pretty sure I called that he would have like really, really, really bloody battles or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I just thought that to myself. Anyways, so he won 1-0, of course, but it was really close. So he just drops in the 7th spot. Not too bad. Still 1-0. So next up we have the Louisville Slugma. They were up against the now last place team, the Portland Pidgeots. That battle was also kind of shaky. Not as shaky as the K-Fair cast form versus the Florida Fraligator, but it was just kind of like, eh. But they were the last one to win, so I could not put them lower than 8th because they are a undefeated team. So they deserve to move up spots. So instead of moving up a spot, they moved up 3 spots. And then the rest below them are winless. And that would be the Florida Fraligator, Fayetteville Talonflames, Charlotte Beedrill, and Portland Pidgeots. The Florida Fraligator are the only winless, or the only team that lost to move up a spot because of how good their battle was against the K-Free cast form. Although he did not Mega Evolve, it was really like a really hard fought battle. So, between the Fayetteville Talonflames, Charlotte Beedrill, and the Portland Pidgeots, it's hard to like rank them because I mean everybody has bad games, so you can't really decide who is where yet. It's easier to nitpick who played better, but it's not as hard to say who could have played better. Or it's not as easy to say who could have played better in this scenario, that scenario. So, but it is easier to say that the Fayetteville Talonflame uh definitely deserve to be above the Charlotte Beedrill and Portland Pidgeot. So that's what puts them in their 10th spot, only dropping 2. Now the Charlotte Beedrill got 6-0'd, and now you might be wondering why they're not in last place after getting 6-0'd. It could be poor drafting or poor preparation because they did not end up having an answer for the Landorus. While the Portland Pidgeots, they, instead of like having choices, the Portland Pidgeots had choices to make and they made the wrong choices, while the Charlotte Beedrill kind of just had no answer from the beginning of the battle. So you can kind of flip-flop them if you want to. You can put one above the other if you really want to. But as of right now, Portland Pidgeot's 12th place power rankings, and Charlotte Beedrill 11th place. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Please tune in next week for more hype battles, and that's it. Bye.